Okay, hello everyone. I been getting a lot of requests to share the layout of my TradingView setup. Um, so what I'm going to do with this video is go through the indicators I have on the layout, the ones that are obviously public, that I made public, and um, and then share the layout with you all. For folks that want to use it and stuff like that. So TradingView allows you to create a layout and share it with everybody else. But I thought I'll go through the indicators first to explain very high level. I think this video can go really, really long if we're deep diving in each indicator. Maybe I will do separate videos on the indicators that need a bit longer to be explained. But this one is really around the layout and we'll touch very high level on the indicators that I have on them. So let's dive in and do that. Again, disclaimer, education purpose only and no recommendation to buy, hold, or sell any stock that we talk about tonight. So let's dive in. I've already created the layout that I will be sharing. It'll just going to be called TA plot layout. Um, and then I'll put the link of the layout in the description of the video. And then I will also link to the indicators one by one. I will also link to TradingView subscription. I'm not affiliated with TradingView, but if you do use the link and if you decide to sign up, I think I'll get a month free or something like that. And I believe you get the same. So just for FYI, I'm not affiliated with them. And I'll explain a little bit later on that as to why you probably want to do that. So we'll touch on that in a little bit. All right, so we're going to start from top to bottom and just go through what I have in very high level how I use it. Okay, so starting from the top, um, I have in the background, I have SPX. It's just really the index, S&P 500. And I have it just so that I am aware of the price action. It's not candlestick, it's bars, and I wanted to keep it clean and it's faded a little bit so that it does not, it's not the focal point and the focus of the chart, but I do like to see what the market was doing. Was it going up? Was it sideways? Stuff like that. If you double click on it, it's really bars and it's only high, low, and close. There's no open. And I just have kind of blue color for bars up and then black for bars down. So a little bit different than the main setup that I have here. I don't know why. I like it that way. You can obviously change it and make it your own and change the colors, bars, whatever you like. And then on top of that, I have this RS line. There's a lot of RS lines out on TradingView and some good ones. Okay. What I wanted to have is an RS line that flags 3 months outperformance, 6 month, and 12 month. I did not find that out there already. So I've created my own. Um, and that's what this really is. So I'll go through this very, very, very quickly. So when stock start having outperformance on a 3 month base, it will show dashes on the line. So I'm going to zoom in here and you can't really hardly see them. You can change how thick you want them to be. So you could potentially come in here and then change this to 8. Now you see that this is clearly showing the RS 3 month outperformance. Okay, I like things clean. I see them at 3, so I leave it at 3. I have it as the default. Okay, so what this does to me, it tells me heads up, this stock is outperforming the market on a 3 month basis. Normally, the stock starts outperforming on 3 month when it's bottoming or rounding up the right side of its base. And then from there, if the strength continues, then it moves to 3 month, which is a plus sign. Okay. And then after the 6 month, so 3 month, 6 month, and then after outperforming for a while on a 6 month basis, then that turns into a year, which is a circle. So visually, and again, all of my indicators are to help me visually see what is going on. So visually looking at the RS line, I can tell start outperforming the market on a 3 month basis here. That's early. So you see it's still under the 200 line. And then 6 month, and then 1 year. This is all custom, so you can change the thickness of all of these. You can force all of them to be circles. I don't know why you would want to do that. You can change the thickness of the line, the colors, all that stuff. You guys can go through the details here. If you don't want to see 3 month, or if you don't want to see 6 or 1 year, you can change it to your liking. Default, it shows 3, 6, and 12. That's how I have it. Play with it and see if you want to change any of those. You can add the average line. So you can see here, I have the 21 as default EMA. That's the average line, 21 EMA of the RS line. I don't show it, but you can. Again, I like things clear, but I bake that into the color. Okay, so you see how I have colors here. If the line is above the 21 EMA, then it's blue. If the line is below the 20 EMA, then it's red. Okay, and that's the red, that's the blue. A little bit different calculation though. This line here is based off of the close, and then these coloring are based off of the low of the day, not the close. Slight difference, um, but um, that's how I have it coded, and that's about it. That's all I want to say. Everybody, if you don't know about RS line, what it is, what's for, relative strength, you probably can Google and find tons of videos explaining what it is. But those are the tweaks that I have done for my custom RS line. Okay, nothing more special about it. It functions exactly like all the RS lines that are out there. You can change, what do you want to bench against? Default is SPX. Okay, I think that covers pretty much everything here. Um, that we want to talk about. Let's move down the list here on the chart. I love candles. Um, I have been trading since 2006. Candles is what I read pretty much lots of books about. Steve Nelson, I think his last name is Nelson. Could be wrong. It's been a long time since I read his material, but it's probably one of the first technical analysis stuff that I learned about Japanese candlesticks, right? I thought it was the best thing ever. So that's what I'm used to. You can change those to bars if you want to. You can change to open, high, and close only. Whatever you're used to, go ahead and use. Um, I'm not going to say candlesticks are better than bars or bars are better than candlesticks. It's really what you're used to. So whatever you like, go for it. Change it. Um, the moving averages that I use, you can see my focus is 50 MA, that's the green, and then 200 MA, that's the one that changes colors. The 50 also changes color. So the 50 is very simple. If it's trending down, it's red. And then once it starts trending back up, then it's green. Okay, very simple. Um, Again, everything on this chart is public, and I'll post links to all of this and the layout. And then the 200 MA is really based off of Minervini trend template. If the 200 MA is trending for a month, it will be blue. If it's trending for more than a month, then it is cyan. Okay. And then if it is in a downtrend, I don't know, what is this? Dark cold gold, something like that, or maybe light brown, whatever you want to call this color. But that's essentially what it is. Okay. So again, visually tells me 50 is trending up. 1 month for 200, that's early turn, and then the greater than 1 month. Everything I have on the chart is to visually help me see trend and see supply and demand. Okay, so that's this line and this line. Now let's move up to these kind of slightly faded, and hopefully you guys can see them. And they're slightly faded for a reason, because again, my focus is 50 and 200 for trend. And then the rest, I would like to see where they're at. And sometimes I place setups around them, but I never buy things fall into the 21 EMA, and I never buy things fall into the 50 MA. I need them to set up. If you've been following me for a while, um, you know that's not what I do when I need things to set up if they fall back to the moving averages. Moving averages is nothing magical about them. Um, I don't really care for stocks just fall into them. I need to see setups. So the 21 EMA is the one that is light gray right here. And then this is the stair stepping up like a stairs is the 10-week MA. Obviously, as a Can Slim follower, 10-week MA is extremely important, teaching of O'Neill. So I like to see it on my daily chart. I don't want to flip back to the weekly to see where the 10 EMA, 10-week moving average is. So it's on my chart here. This indicator is not mine. This is for a guy named John. I'll put the link to the indicator. And it's really amazing. It has tons of moving averages all in one indicator. I'm only going to focus on the daily, so I have the 21 EMA right here. And then here's how you show weekly on daily. Here's your weekly 10 SMA. And here's the 40-week MA. Okay. So what I do with this is it's really good because when you flip the weekly, then all of the other moving averages are gone, and now you only have your 10-week and then your 40-week. Okay, that's all controlled by that indicator. So that's pretty nice. And then for my 50, I don't want to see it on the weekly, so I have it visibility disabled, and then on the week and the month. And then similarly for the 200, I only want to see it on the daily, so I have it disabled on the weeks and the month. Okay, pretty basic. Now, these colored candles are an indicator that I created based off of Matt Caroso. He calls this mini coil. Anything that has volatility contraction in it, I adopt. Um, I don't necessarily trade them like he does, but and I've always knew about them. Obviously, you can see there's 3 candles inside of 1 candle, uh, 2 candles, 3 candles inside of 1 candle. It's a mini coil. If you have 2 candles and more inside of 1 candle, that's when this indicator kind of flags that to you to tell you, hey, there is mini contraction. I think that's why he, essentially calls it mini coil. It's coiling, but it's a mini pattern. It's not a bigger coil, right? So when things coil on a bigger scale, this is obviously not a big coil, but you got potentially a coil here, right? So prices are coiling together, but this is a mini one. It's red when the candle is black, right? And then it's green when the candle is an up candle. That's it. You can change the setting for this one. So if we go here and then open up the mini coils setting, um, you can essentially say, I have it painting the coil bar. I think by default it puts uh, square on the price action. I don't like it. It's busy. I don't even know why I coded it that way, but it's an option if you want to have it. I like it clean. So I'm gonna color the bar, and here you can see if I uncolor it, then you see black is red, and then up bar is green. Okay. Um, and then what you can also do if you even want it a little bit more cleaner or just different option, you can put a arrow under the mini coil. So you can, if you don't like the coloring, you can disable that and then leave the arrow under it. So lots of options, very flexible. I like the coloring, so I'll leave it that way. That's how I do it. And then the last one here on the upper bar is the upper panel or the middle panel, chart panel is Wick Play. Wick Play is by Oliver. I really can't remember his last name. I think he was the US champion in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and I kind of learned that from him. Wick Play, it doesn't happen often. I keep it on the chart again because it is a 1 day volatility kind of contraction in my point of view. So let me show you what that is. So back in 2020, 2021, NVIDIA had two Wick plays right here. So let me zoom in on those. Um, and essentially what it is, the Wick play, is when, so this candle here is a candle that attempted to rally. So let's kind of go to this candle, attempted to rally, right, on this day, and then closed with an upper shadow, right, relatively large upper shadow. The next day, the candle, the entire candle, not just the body, but even the low of the candle, the entire candle stayed in that shadow, in that wick. That's why he called it wick play. So this whole day, from high to low, is inside the shadow, inside the wick. So this is a wick play setup. And that's why my indicator flags, okay? And it colors the candle blue, dark cyan or light cyan, whatever the color is. So the trigger, according to him, is really the high, um, the third day. So you need 2 days for the setup, and then your trigger is your third day. So that's triggered, right? So that's one setup that happened on NVIDIA, and then there's another one here that happened. I believe that potentially triggered, but it really did not work. It probably stopped you out here. So I like to have it, and if you can see what I mean by contraction, right? If your second day is gonna be living inside of your wick, that's a pretty tight range day. And that's a 1 day contraction, right? Volatility contraction. Um, Volatility contracting for just that 1 day. So like I said, anything that have the sense of volatility contracting, I adopt and I use it on, on my own way. Um, I don't. I probably would have not traded this. It's pretty high in the setup away from MMAs. But if I see a wick play down in an area where I am comfortable taking a position, I like that. So that's why I have it on my indicator. Doesn't like I said, it doesn't really happen that often. Happened on Tesla too, around that same time, I believe, right here. So there's one here that didn't really go anywhere. So it actually broke to the downside. And then there is another one here that really was the climax run. So here's your wick. Here's the day. Oh, sorry. Here's your wick, long wick. Here's the days. Totally stayed inside of the wick, and now you've got this burst up, and then that's all she wrote. Okay. And then let's move on. So that's what that is. And then down here, I have my volume pocket indicator, pocket pivot indicator. This is really, uh, I created this based off of uh, Morales, Morales' book. I can't remember the disciple, O'Neill Disciples, I think the name of the book is. It's been a long time since I read it. Um, Obviously, I don't use pocket pivots like they explain it in the book. I don't. They use pocket pivots as a way to buy a stock when a pocket pivot happens in a sound base to get on a stock before it breaks out. I use it to really visually show me supply and demand equilibrium. I will make a separate video on this indicator here because it's really very. I've been using it for a very long time, and I have a lot of ways that it helps me increase my probabilities of success in knowing supply and demand. Okay, so I can make a full video on this, but for a very, very, very high level, the green color is 10-day pocket pivot. The blue color is 5-day pocket pivot. And what a pocket pivot is, it's essential. 10-day pocket pivot, it just says this volume on this up day is higher than the last the last 10 days, including the down volume. So you look at this volume here, it's an up volume, and it's higher than the highest down day volume in the last 10 days. And then 5-day pocket pivot is just that, it's just 5 days instead of 10. Less significant, but I like to see them. Um, this cyan color here is the highest volume, the highest up day volume in a year. Okay. These dots here are volume dry out or volume dry up. Um, there's two settings for the volume dry up. There's uh, uh, 45% uh, volume dry up or 60%, which is extreme dry up. And that's really the orange bar. So if you see an orange circle, it's really all the way down to 60%. So that just means tons and tons of dry out. And then if it's 45% or less, then it's blue. And then 60% or less, then it's orange. You can change that. So if you would like, the volume dry out to be colored, then you can do that and disable the dots. I like the dots, so I leave those unchecked. Um, I've recently added projected volume bar just a few weeks ago. So what that means is it just tells you the projected volume. The market is closed now, obviously. So let's go and weekly, the week is done. So let's go to the monthly. And then you see this light blue here. This is the projected volume um, by the end of the month. If the volume pace continues the way it has for this first week in September. I honestly don't think it's that accurate, but I have it on there. So when you're looking at the daily, you'll see it in the beginning of the day. It's really, really high, but then it just kind of start balancing out later in the day. Okay, but I have it if you need it. Um, so quickly, again, I can talk about this indicator for an hour, the way I use it. But quickly, let me show you how this is visually telling me a lot about NVIDIA, right? So what do you notice here on this rally for NVIDIA when it was going up, right? Especially in this area here, right? There's no red bars, there's no distribution. Red bars are distribution. It's essentially more than an average volume with a candle that closed in the bottom. Honestly, I don't remember 30%, 35%. I've quoted it a long time ago. But that's essentially red bar definition. Okay. You see this uptrend here, tons of pocket pivots, right? Tons of accumulation, huge up volume. And then, you know, nothing here, right? It's just constant buy-in, constant buy-in, constant buy-in. Oh, there's a wick play here that never really kind of triggered to the upside. But you see just clean, right? Green, blue, not a lot of this is not a lot of red. But look what you see now on NVIDIA, right? A lot of red, hardly any green in this area, right? So visually, I can quickly see there's tons of buying here. Institutions just grabbing shares, grabbing shares, grabbing shares. And then here, institutions are not doing that. This actually telling me institutions are potentially, selling. Some of them, obviously, right? I'm not saying Nvidia is going to go down. I'm just telling you what. I mean, obviously you can see it visually, right? Look at this and look at this. You can see the difference, right, between the left and the right. This is exactly why I created this indicator. Not just really the volume, but when you do this for a very long time, look at the price action. Look how this price action is controlled, right? It's not volatile. The bars are small, ranges are tight, right? So compare that to what you see now in the price action. It's just wide range bars. So different, subtle in character change, but we'll see what happens. So like I said, I can show tons and tons of examples around how I use this, and things like that. I think even on a weekly, that tells you, that shows you, right? Look how tons of distribution on the way down, and then stopped, no more distribution, and that now all switched into accumulation, right? We're not showing that distribution here on the weekly, but you got, long shadow, shooting star here. Look at, again, remember when I look at how tight these weekly bars are on the way up. Then you got your acceleration, and now it's these weekly bars are wide and upper shadows. Look at these weekly bars, how they look. Look at these weekly bars, how they look. It's very different character in the price action. Um, I'm not sure what else do I want to say about this indicator. Obviously, there is some stats here about the volume. There's the up-down ratio as well. Very, 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 very customized. You can change the theme. You can change it, that different theme. You can change the color separately for each. Change the moving average, up-down volume. I would leave that at 50. I won't touch that. Again, you can decide what you want to show, what you don't want to show. You can hide the box if you don't want it. Change the color of each of the volume bars. Make the boxes bigger if you want it bigger. Make it tiny if you want it tiny. So lots of options. Change the position of this bar, and then the data table colors. So lots of options. But I'll make a separate video with a lot of examples around how do I use this to judge accumulation, distribution, and then how do I really use it to increase my probabilities of success on the setups that I take. And then finally, volume, unbalanced volume. I released this a few days ago. I'll link to the video that I made separately for this because I just released it probably like a week and a half ago. So I'm not going to go through that, but I'll link through it. But it's the unbalanced volume. I went in details through all of this stuff. But that's really essentially it. I will share the screen layout, I mean, and if you have any questions about any of this, you can leave them in the comments. And oh yeah, one thing that I wanted to show, that's almost forgot. So there will be a link, and then simply you can take the link and then copy it and then paste it into your browser. And this is why I said, come on, how do I get rid of this? All right, let me just paste the link. So this is the link that's going to be left there. And then you see how I'm in incognito mode. And if not logged into my account, so you see how not all of the indicators showed up. And then if I expand on the indicators, it tells you that there's errors, right? Study error, study error, study error, study error. And the reason why, because if you have a free account with TradingView, you can only have 3 indicators on your chart and not more. And if you remember, these two are one indicator, and this is one indicator, and this one indicator is at 3. That's why the rest of the indicators are not showing up. So if you want my exact layout with the indicators, the studies, you will need to have a subscription to be able to have more than 3 indicators at one time. Here's a subscription. This one, the essential, allow you to have 5 indicators, and this one allow you to have 10 indicators on one chart. You are going to need, if you count these indicators, you have one here, and then you have one here. So that's 2, 3, 4, mini coil, and wick play, 6, then 7, and 8. So you're really going to need 8 indicators. And that would put you at this plan here. I frankly would not buy the annual plan now. Um, Thanksgiving is coming very soon, and there will be a discount for more than 50% for the yearly subscription. If you don't have a subscription now, you can potentially, if you want to start now, you can just get um, a month and a half, or 2 months, and then just buy the annual when Thanksgiving rolls in. So I'll put the link in the description. But honestly, I wouldn't pay 300. You're gonna be able to get that a lot cheaper here in the next few weeks when Thanksgiving rolls in. Anyway, I really appreciate it. Um, this I love TradingView, but obviously I also love MarketSmith. They are two different products for two different reasons. MarketSmith is my research platform. I spend tons of time there, researching stocks, scanning for stocks, picking up stocks. And then my TradingView is my speed, my execution, my flexibility. Um, it's really for honing in, zooming out, my custom indicators, my own visualization of how I see trading and how I approach trading. Um, but I I can't live with either. So MarketSmith is extremely important to me. TradingView is important as well. So I use both, and I think they're both worth it. But you make your own decision. Um, anyway, I think that's pretty much it. We've been on for over half an hour, but hopefully that helps. And again, I'll do some detailed indicator sessions for the ones, especially potentially for this one and how I use it. So thank you, and have a good day. Bye bye.